What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Life After Lockup Season 5, Episode 13, Love is a Powerful Drug. Now, we are already on Episode 13 because, as we know, Life After Lockup is just a continuation of the Love After Lockup season. So let's get started with Dumb and Dumber, Red and Joy Nami. So they are still driving through New Mexico. No, they're still driving to New Mexico from Missouri, and they have just entered the great state of Texas. So they're having a conversation in the car, and Joy is asking Red, what is the one thing about her, if anything, that he absolutely does not like? And Red tells Joy that the one thing about her that he does not like the fact that she is so insecure, which is hilarious because he feeds into her insecurity. He fuels her insecurity by talking to other women, blatantly talking to other women. He feels it. And then he says that's the one thing he doesn't like about her, but that's the one thing that he helps create. So he says, I don't like your insecurity. And it just boggles my mind that he even said that. So they stop at a rest stop, or I don't know what this place was. I guess it was like a rest stop, but instead of like, or a hotel room, I don't know what it was. Instead of like actual hotels or hotel rooms, it had individual wagons, like those old fashioned wagons that, the pioneers would travel in when they were, crossing the great country of America, whatever you want to call it. So they're like individual wagons that have been converted into these rooms. So they're staying there, and it was really, really cute. So the next day they wake up in the morning, and Red is supposed to go get breakfast, and he steps outside. Of course, he's not within earshot of Joy, and he gets on the phone and he calls Julie, his so-called BFF, and this is the woman that he slept with while Joy was waiting for him in their hotel room back in Missouri, and he was supposed to step out real quick, but instead he calls Julie. Julie came, picked him up. They went into another hotel room. I don't know if it was the same hotel that Joy was staying in or another hotel, and they did their thing, and they did their thing twice. And this gentleman, Red, gets on camera and says that, sleeping with Julie was not as good as sleeping with Joy. But for whatever reason, in Texas, when he's supposed to be getting Joy breakfast, he decides to call Julie. Julie is evidently on his mind, and he decides to call her and talk to her. I forgot what the hell they talked about. It really doesn't matter. The fact that he even would get on the phone with her after talking about how sex with her was so bad, and, Joy is the only woman for him. You're doing something that that if Joy knew you were doing this, it would make her really upset, and it would fuel her insecurity. That one thing that you really don't like about her. So he's out there talking to Julie. Like I said, I don't know what the hell they were talking about. And he tells, in his confession, he tells us that he slept with Julie 2 times. So if the first time was so bad, why did you go for seconds? Like, I don't get it. Were you hoping there would be better? So Red tells us that because he slept with Julie, he got it out of his system, and now he's ready to be, a monogamous man, I guess, with Joy. If you got it out of your system, why are you calling her? Moving on from there. So now they're in a bar type place, and Red says that they should take their relationship to the next level. He gives her that oh so romantic proposal, talking about how they're not getting any younger, they're just getting older, so let's get married, in the words of Jagged Edge. So he gets down on one knee and he proposes to her, and I was like, is he gonna give her a ring or what? Because he doesn't have any money, and we didn't see him go purchase a ring anywhere. But sure enough, he proposes with a ring that he bought in this bar for like $30. So your girl Joy puts this ring on, or he puts it on her finger, and she is just like so tickled by this ring, just completely breathless over this $30 ring. And so she's so happy. She wraps her arms around him, she kisses him, and she's talking about how happy she is. Of course, she said yes to the proposal. And I'm like, girl, please be really careful with that ring, that $30 ring that he bought for you at this bar. Okay, you're not only is your finger going to turn all shades of green, it just might fall off. So please be very careful. So Red tells us that he feels really guilty when he had proposed to Joy because he knows that he's got this big secret that he's hiding from her, which is the fact that he had slept with Julie. So I guess he plans on confessing this to her at some point. Look, y'all, I just... Dumb and Dumber, I just, oh. I'm glad they're on Life After Lockup because I cannot wait to see how their story ends. But you know what? It's just going to be comic relief for me. I'm just going to look at this as, something to make me laugh. I can't take these people seriously. Moving on to Krock and Britney. So, Krock's mom got herself a boyfriend. I didn't know she had a boyfriend, but we meet her boyfriend. As soon as the episode starts, we see Krock's mom and her boyfriend. And Krock and his mom, they go outside to have a conversation. And he tells his mother that he's thinking about proposing to Britney. So his mom is really excited about that because his mom really does like Britney and she really likes her son with Britney. So the mom goes inside the house and she comes back out and she says that she's going to give Krock the ring that he's going to be using to propose to Britney. And this ring has been passed on from generation to generation. And she had always wanted to give it to her first son that was getting married. And the ring was a really pretty ring. It really was pretty. And so Krock is really excited to present this ring to Britney. So he decides to take her horseback riding, right? He tells her, let's go horseback riding. What I'm trying to understand is if Britney thought that they were going horseback riding, why was she dressed like that? She had on this super duper tight mini dress with the straps, the spaghetti straps, and some really high heels. And okay, I understand that he didn't tell her before they left, but like, why wouldn't he have given her like a heads up of, I'm going to take you somewhere. It's a surprise. So let me tell you what the attire is going to be, what the dress code is going to be at this place. But I'm like, if she really thought, well, anyways, it doesn't even matter. So they're on their way horseback riding. And in the car, this conversation comes up about Britney's father and how when she was born, her father was jumped by 7 guys. And Krock said, yeah, you told me about this story. He was jumped by 7 black guys. And so Britney was like, well, what the hell does their color or their race have to do with it? And Krock says, because that's what you said. When you told me the story initially, you had mentioned that your father got jumped by 7 black men. And so Krock says, maybe that's the reason why your father doesn't want to meet me, because it was, some black people that attacked him. And Britney's like, no, it's not because of their race. It's not because of your race that my father doesn't want to meet you. My father doesn't want to meet you because you're trans. She's like, my father doesn't have a problem with you being black. My father has a problem with you being trans. So he actually takes her to a skydiving place and he wants them to go skydiving. And he says that this is how she's going to prove her love to him. He says that if I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her, I need her to prove to me that she is really down with me. So I'm going to take her skydiving. She has to jump out of a plane to show that she trusts me and that she loves me. Krock, what the hell are you smoking? What? Are you crazy? This is how you want someone to prove their love to you, is by jumping out of a plane. So for the most part, y'all, I thought that, he was testing her, but like at the very last minute, he was going to be like, no, I'm just kidding. We're not going to go skydiving. I just wanted to see if you were really going to do it. And as soon as she signed the paper to prove that she was really going to do it, the release where you're not going to, come back and sue them if you die or get injured. As soon as she signed the paper, I thought he was going to be like, haha, just kidding. We're not going to skydive. I just wanted to see if you would actually do it for me. No, they are actually headed to a plane and they're going to go up into the sky and jump out of said plane. So we're going to see that on the next episode. And I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to believe that I don't love or trust you, because I'm not jumping out of a plane. Moving on to Louie and Melissa. So Louie surprises Melissa by showing up at her place of employment, which is a bar. But I thought she worked at the post office. So I guess she's got 2 jobs. So he walks into the bar with this backpack and he's happy to see her, but she was not happy to see him. She was definitely surprised, but it was like kind of surprised, like, oh my God, what are you doing here? Not, oh my God, baby, you came. No. So he definitely sensed it. He could tell that she really wasn't that happy. And so they're talking and she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I came here to see you. What are you talking about? You kept on talking about how I'm never going to come see you. I'm not making plans to come to New Jersey. Well, this is to show you that I am serious about coming to see you. And she says something to him like, well, I appreciate that you did it, but I just don't like how you went about it, or something like that. Like, why didn't you tell me? And he says, I didn't tell you because you want me to be be more independent and you don't want me to always rely on you and always ask you every little thing. So I did this completely on my own. And so she's still not happy, right? So then she wants to see his teeth. So he shows her the teeth, which to me, I think they're okay. I think they're fine. If I didn't know that they were dentures, I probably would have thought they were his real teeth. Okay. They're not that bad, but she didn't like them. So she says, I just wanted to see, if it was worth my money. Okay, Melissa. So they go back to Melissa's house. She's cooking spaghetti with frozen meatballs. And Louie was like, you're not actually going to cook frozen meatballs with spaghetti. Anyways. So she's cooking spaghetti with frozen meatballs. They're sitting down. And so then they get into an argument about him being a mama's boy, how he's not adulting enough. He's not doing enough for her. She wants him. I don't know what level she expects him to be on after he spent 9 years in prison and he was going through an addiction, and he comes out of prison with absolutely nothing, but she expects him to be making like $50,000, $65,000 a year already. And she doesn't understand why it's taking him so damn long. And so she says, you're living a teenage life. You're living up there with your mother's taking care of you, blah, blah, blah. And he says, what teenagers do you know that have just come out of prison after doing 9 years? He got a job. He got a car. I don't know what else she expects from someone who just came out of prison. And he did all of these things pretty damn quickly. So she's still not happy. And so he's talking about moving to New Jersey, which is what she's always wanted. And then she's got the audacity to say, well, I don't know if it's a good idea for you to move up here if you're not at a certain level, or, I need to see where this relationship is going. So then he's asking her, well, where do I put my bags? And she goes, well, put them in the guest room. She said the guest room, not her room. And so he's really confused now. He's like, so what the hell are we doing here? So he asks her, what are the plans for tomorrow? She says, well, I'm going to go see my family tomorrow. And he goes, is that an invite? Are you inviting me? And then she's like, well, I don't know, Louie. I just need to know where this relationship is going before I introduce you to my family. So either Melissa has moved on to somebody else, or her sisters have really gotten into her ear and she has really lost all faith with Louie, because she is really truly acting like she is no longer interested in this man whatsoever. So if that's what it is, Melissa, just say so. I don't know if she's going to string him along until she gets to the point where she wants to see like exactly where he's headed with his life. And if he's headed in the direction that she likes, she's going to be like, okay, I want to be with you now. But she's going to just string him along, keep him on the back burner, not really let him go, but not really be with them until he can prove to her that he can be the kind of man that she wants him to be. And if not, then she'll cut him loose, which I think is really unfair. If he's not what you want him to be right now, girl, just let him go. Let him go on with his life. Let him do his thing. You go do your thing, but don't string him along until you've decided on what you want to do with him. Moving on to Cameron and Eris. So the last time that we saw Cameron and Eris, what was their issue? She was already pregnant. He was working, but he really wants to be a rapper. And I think, and they had just moved into this house together. So things I thought were going pretty well for Cameron and Eris the last time that we saw them on Life After Lockup or Love After Lockup or whatever the hell it was. So this time we see Cameron. He's home with, what's that girl's name? Lena, Eris's daughter. They're playing video games. Eris is extremely pregnant. She's about to have that baby any minute. And we find out that they just got evicted because the HOA just found out that Cameron is actually a felon, and they're not allowed to have felons move into their property. That just seems very suspicious to me. Either she didn't tell them that she was moving in her man with her, so they never did a background check on him, or they're being evicted for other reasons and not because they just found out that he's a felon. So it's just crazy to me how they've already moved in, they've been living there for a while, and now they just found out that he's a felon. Like, what? Anyways, so she's about to have this baby and they're trying to get everything together and they need to find another place to live. So he takes her to an RV lot because he wants to buy an RV. And our Eris is like, what are you talking about, an RV? Why do we need an RV? And he goes, well, it's going to be really good for the family. You know, we can take family trips together. Now, keep in mind, Cameron wants to be a rapper because he is a rapper. Before he went to prison, he did have, his little hip hop career. So he was doing his thing, making music, making videos. And then everything came to a screeching halt when he went to prison. So he still sees himself as an artist. And so she tells him, you really want an RV because you want to tour with your music. This is really for you and your music career, not so much for the family, because we need a home. We need a home that doesn't have wheels. We need an actual home. So he tries to convince her that the way to go is with an RV. It's more cost effective. It will help out with his music career, but it's also really good for the family. So they walk into the RV. It's pretty spacious. It's a pretty decent RV, but Eris don't want to live there with a brand new baby and a 10-year-old daughter. She does not want to live the RV life. And so she tells them, this is what we were planning to do when we were a whole lot older, not now. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty sure they're going to get a regular house or an apartment. There's no way that they're going to be living in an RV. That's just not going to happen. Moving on to Taylor and Chance. Taylor and Chance, they're just that couple that really exhaust you. They're very, very, very exhausting because Taylor is just, Chance is just so full of crap. And he does these stupid things over and over and over again. Taylor cries about it all the time, and yet they're still together. So they just had their own baby. They had a baby boy. Taylor already has 3 daughters from previous relationships. And the last time that if I can remember correctly, she was burning his damn clothes because she thought he was cheating on her. It's just a whole bunch of nonsense, but they're together. They're fine, I guess, because they're still together. And they've started an epoxy business where they make epoxy tables. So Chance wants to expand the business to also do like home renovations or construction. And Taylor just wants to keep it to epoxy. So they're supposed to be meeting a client to do her table or whatever the hell. And so they arrive at the client's house. They're talking about the epoxy table. And then Chance keeps talking about, well, do you need anything else done around your house? So he's like looking around her house and her kitchen and stuff, and he's like, oh, I can do your cabinets for you, I can redo this, I can redo that. And the lady's like, what the hell's going on here? I thought we were just going to do an epoxy table. So Chance steps out because he gets a call, and it's some guy named Bobo that he knew in prison. They were doing business together in prison, and this guy ended up loaning Chance $1,000. So this man is out now and he's looking for Chance and he wants his damn money. This whole entire scene of Chance talking on the phone to Bobo and this guy yelling at him on the phone, when I find you, I'm going to kick your... I need my money. It just sounded so fake. This was so scripted. I was not buying this. I was actually quite bored because I know that it's fake. This is absolutely fake. So then he goes back into the house. He tells Taylor, hey, we got to go. So she's like, why? What's going on? They get in the car. She's really confused about why they had to cut their meeting short with their client, their potential client. And he won't tell her right away, but he knows that he has to tell her because he had promised her to not keep secrets from her anymore. And anything involving money, he was going to tell her, he was going to be very transparent about it. So he has to find a way to tell her that there's this crazy man from prison looking for him, wanting his money. It just seemed really fake. I mean, from beginning to end, I didn't buy it. So I hope there's more to their storyline than, what's his name? Chance running away from crazy men who are looking for him. Moving on to, Chevelle and Quin. Okay, to tell you the truth, I was not happy to see Chevelle and Quin. They don't interest me that much because their story was just played to me. So when Quin came out of prison, they were together for a while, not too long before he started cheating on her. So he was cheating on her with all these different women. Then she broke up with him, and I thought we were done with it. But no, he came crawling back. She took him back, and now they are engaged and they're about to get married. But their mothers hate each other. So they're at the venue where their wedding is going to take place. So Quin, Chevelle, and their moms are both there. Now, please explain to me why Chevelle and her mom are wearing the same exact dress. This is not mommy and me. Let's go take a picnic with my little girl. No, y'all are grown women. Why are y'all wearing the same exact dress? But anyway, so they're at the wedding venue. The event planner is showing them around. Chevelle's mom doesn't like it. She doesn't like the venue at all. Quin, his mom is a little bit more supportive of their relationship because, she's whatever her son does is ideal in her eyes. So she's not going to go against whatever Quaylon wants to do. Chevelle's mom, on the other hand, she doesn't like Quaylon. She doesn't want Chevelle with Quaylon. And the two moms don't like each other. So the wedding planner quotes them a price of $25,000. And I'm like, $25,000 for what? That was a very small space. And it did look like a receptionist hall, because Chevelle's mom was like, y'all are going to get married in here. This looks more like a space suited for a reception, not for the actual wedding. But honey, $25,000 for I don't know what. So Chevelle's mom is like, well, I'm not going to pay for it. And then Quaylon's mom was like, well, you don't have to. You can just go sit in the back, or whatever she said. The two moms start fighting. They start arguing. I don't care. I hope that Chevelle and Quaylon, I hope that their whole entire storyline is not going to center around the two moms constantly fighting and bickering and hating each other. I'm not interested. I don't care if your mothers don't like each other. Nobody is marrying anybody's mother. I don't care. If you're going to bring back Chevelle and Quaylon, let's keep it about Chevelle and Quaylon. I don't care about what's going on with the mothers. And that's my review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.